Okay, we're back. This time we're going to look at what exactly makes the climax. Okay, now you would think that the climax to the whole story is when Walter loses the money and when Bobo comes in to give the bad news. You would think that would be the climax and you think that everything is going to go down. Yeah, but the thing is, where this story is concerned, I think the climax would be when Mr. Lindner comes in Act 3. Okay, you see, when Bobo comes in with the bad news, okay, Benita loses hope, basically. Okay, she loses all hope on being a doctor. All right, Walter feels cheated and loses hope in his dreams. Mama loses sight of all that she ever dreamed of, the house, the a comfortable place for her family. She loses sight of all that. Okay, now Mama was the pillar of strength for that house. Yeah, she's the one who kept of course Ruth was there always playing the peacemaker, but Mama was the pillar of strength. She had that dream and she wanted her kids to go and live that dream. She wanted them to achieve it, okay, and she pushed them along. Mama was the one who single-handedly went out and decided to use that money to buy a house. She knew Walter had all these plans. She knew Benita had her dreams, but she single-handedly went out and made that decision, okay, because she knew that everything had hit rock bottom and what they needed was a fresh start, and she wanted to get that house. Okay, so she basically was that strong person, the one who took care of the family, the one who led the family. Yeah. But at the end of Act 2, we see her literally crumble when Bobo brings the news. This woman who was all strength literally crumbled, crying to God for strength. Okay, but the thing is, we all saw this coming, right? We knew this was going to happen. That day she decided to give Walter the money because she felt sorry for him, or she felt like she wanted to, make him feel like a man. We, the audience, we can see it coming. We already knew this was going to happen. So really, would you consider this the climax? I don't think so. Alright, so now let's look at the real climax. Okay, now this is let's look at the moments leading to Linda's visit, okay? At that point, Benita had basically stopped caring, okay? She'd almost succumbed to the thought that people are always going to be corrupt and people are always going to take advantage of those who have lesser or who can't have as much, and she basically lost faith in the entire system, and she lost faith in doing good works because she realized that no matter how good you are, if you do not have, if you're not in that position to have, then you just won't. And here you can see how at that point she completely lost faith in her family, especially her brother. She completely lost faith in her brother. Okay, you can see that when she starts mocking him. All right, he comes out of the room and all she does is her insult after insult, mockery after mockery, put him down, just make him feel so bad, right? So that's Benita. Mama had basically given up hope on her dreams. Okay, she basically kind of gave up when she recollected when she was younger, and people used to say, Lena Eggleston, you aims too high. And she said, you know, me and Walter, we didn't learn much. Okay, so you can see how she felt she had not achieved her dream, and she will never achieve her dream. And she had kind of accepted that fact, that maybe she did aim too high after all. Okay, so she decides to just, you know, do whatever they can just to make their current situation better. You know, she's kind of like just forgotten the house. Like, okay, now, you know, in the back of her mind, she's not going to move anymore. So let's just make life a bit better by making a house better. And she starts, like, you know, pointing out certain things that she can improve just to make their living conditions a little bit more comfortable, because she had completely put the thought of moving out of her mind. Okay, and she basically kind of she claims, you know, she says, I see things differently now. What does that mean? What does it mean when she says, I see things differently now? See things differently how? What? See what things? Life, opportunities, dreams. Okay, so at that point she also felt sorry for her family. She felt helpless. She saw her son suffering. She could see that, you know, everyone knows what he did. And she also knew that that's what her son did. But she also knew what his intentions were, and she knew that he was suffering inside. But she also knew the heartache that her daughter was going through because of all this. And so she saw her family suffering. And the thing is, what's really sad about all this is that Mama blames herself. She blames herself for aiming too high. She blames herself for the decisions she made with the money. So, you know, it's sad that she's taken it all upon herself. Um, Ruth. Ruth at that point had basically talked herself into moving. She was so happy that moment when Mama said she bought the house and they were going to move. Ruth was the happiest person because she knew she had to get out of there. She knew she had to get out of that house and have a good place for her family, for them to grow properly. And so that's what she did. Okay, that's what she wanted. And so at that point, she did not want to not move. She still wanted to move because for her that was important. Okay, and so it was sad because Mama knew that they can't move anymore. The money's all gone, and so Ruth, sadly, was holding on to that dream with all she had. All right, Walter. Walter was in a completely hopeless state. When the scene opens in Act 3, you see him slumped in his bed, or he's lying down on his back, and he was just looking really lost into the ceiling. Okay, a picture of a man who had been beaten. Okay, and so now Walter had lost all hope. All right, but it was like an epiphany for him when he realized that the only way to get ahead is to be an opportunist like everybody else. All those who got ahead took advantage and took advantage of other people, like Billy Harris. I mean, of course he knows Walter didn't have much. Yeah, that's all he had. But still, he didn't think twice about taking the money and running away. And so Walter decided that day that, the only way anyone is going to go ahead is to be the taker. Okay, he uses that word. He says, be the taker, not the taken. Okay, what he meant was someone who's taken for granted, someone who's taken advantage of. So be a taker, not the taken. That's what he means. Now, he says, that all this while they've been doing it wrong. They're mixed up, he says. Yeah, we got it mixed up. We look at what's right and wrong and we worry about it. We stay up nights. And so this, like what Mama says, remember when he wanted to start that liquor store, Mama didn't want it because it's a liquor store and she's a very Christian woman. So this is what he means. He says, we've just wasted an opportunity. We're wasting opportunities because we're thinking of what is right and what is wrong, and we never get ahead. When what you need to do is to see an opportunity and seize it, even if it means taking advantage of other people. And so that he felt was like an epiphany. Okay, so remember that time when he came out of the room and Benita was mocking him? Honestly, he thought he had won that day because he thought he had the most brilliant idea, and whatever she said, it didn't stop him. Okay, so that's what's happened right after Bobo visits. Okay, so now we are going to look at how this state of things, this is what they are right now. This is the state of all their minds, and now we are going to see how this leads to the climax. All right, so now we see a family that is completely broken, a family that is beaten, and they have lost hope. They have, they basically, stopped trying, except Walter now, who thinks he's got a really good idea, that in order to get what you want, you have to be bad, which is so not what Mama's been teaching him all this while, isn't it? Okay, but now he comes back. Walter comes back. Now this is where we see the family really, really broken. All right, he comes back. And Walter explains in details, okay, how this is going to work. How he's going to talk to Mr. Lindner and how he's going to, be the winner in this deal. Can I see what happened was Mr. Lindner came as a representative of the housing committee to offer them some money in case they decide not to move in because they're a black family and they're moving into a white neighborhood. And so obviously the other white people are not happy that they're coming in. So what he's doing is, what he's done, he's offered them, compensation. Okay, in case they, in case they decided not to move in again. I mean, given the circumstances then. So he was going to take advantage of that situation because he saw an opportunity, and he was basically going to ask Mr. Lindner for more money than they put down because he knows they don't want them to move in, and they would most likely want to pay him as much as he wants, if possible, just so that they don't move in. So he was going to take advantage of that situation and ask for more money. That's why he says we are going to get more money than we ever thought we could. That's what he promised. Okay, and he in his mind, he's a winner. Okay, he thinks, this is the white man, I'm going to cheat the white man, I'm going to take advantage of that white man. And he is so proud of himself. Okay? And he goes into great detail how he's going to do it, how he's going to grovel, and how he's going to get on his knees and beg and tell them how we're simple people and we don't know anything, and how, they're just going to take their money back. All right? Now, put this whole scene against Mama's idea of pride, dignity, maintaining the family pride. Remember the house and how she covered the sofas with all the doilies just so you can cover up all the holes, and she puts the furniture in certain places to cover up the worn out spots on the carpet, all because she wants to retain a certain sense of dignity of the family. Okay, so now if you put this next to what Mama's idea of dignity is, it's just completely contrasting, isn't it? And it's really sad because that's really not how he was raised. And for that, Benita calls him a toothless rat. She says, "This is not a man. He is no brother of mine." To which Mama gets really angry. Okay, at this point, Mama's basically lost hope in her dreams, and she's lost hope in her children. All right? Mama and Benita have got into little arguments about, their different beliefs. Yeah, but this time I think Mama kind of gave up, and she said, "Death done come in this here house, done come walking in my house on the lips of my children." She felt she had lost her children to the world, and everything that she knew about life, about dreaming, about about making life better, it's just gone out the window. She has basically lost hope in everything she believed in. Okay, now that house, when she bought it, it was basically a remnant of the dream that she had with Big Walter Benita's father. And she somehow held on to that dream, thinking that one day she'll be able to provide it for her children, or maybe even her children may achieve that. But at this point, I think she basically completely loses hope when she sees that even her children cannot be on the same page, and her children are all out to put down one another. Okay, one was very willing to pawn his sister's future, and the other one refuses to even recognize him as family. So, where's family in that? Okay, so at this point, Linda comes in, and everything changes. Okay, so in the next video, we will talk about how things just light up and things just look up and change, okay, to the end of the story.